Welcome to our channel History of Coins, where we explore the hidden gems of numismatics. In today's video, we're diving into the fascinating world of rare quarter-dollar coins, cause some of these coins hold an incredible history, and some are worth millions. So today, we are gonna uncover the rarest varieties and their values. So make sure to watch the complete video and find out if you have one of these. Now let's continue our today's video. Top 1 today, we're diving into a truly iconic piece of American numismatics. The United States Washington quarter from 1776 to 1976, often called the Bicentennial Quarter. This coin isn't just a regular quarter. It's a powerful symbol of American independence and heritage, minted to celebrate 200 years of freedom. But beyond its historical significance, some versions of this coin hold incredible value, especially when you discover rare errors or exceptional conditions. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll learn why this quarter could be worth a staggering $84,000. Yes, $84,000. So, listen closely, collectors and enthusiasts alike. You won't want to miss a single detail about this fascinating piece. First, let's rewind and talk about the origin and background of this special coin. In 1976, the United States Mint issued a unique quarter to celebrate the bicentennial of the American Revolution. Instead of the usual Washington quarter design, these coins feature a striking new reverse that pays tribute to America's fight for independence. The coin's reverse depicts a colonial drummer boy and a victory torch encircled by 13 stars, representing the original colonies. On the obverse, you'll still find the familiar profile of George Washington, but with the double date 1776 to 1976 instead of a single year. These coins were produced in massive quantities, with billions minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and even San Francisco. You might be wondering, with so many of these quarters out there, how can any be rare or valuable? The answer lies in the minute variations, minting errors, and especially the special collector's editions that came from this production run. One of the most intriguing features of the Bicentennial Quarter is the proof version. Proof coins are specially struck with polished dies and planchets, giving them a mirror-like finish and exceptional detail. These coins were intended for collectors, so they were produced in smaller quantities compared to regular circulation strikes. Naturally, these proof quarters in perfect condition have a much higher value. But some proof quarters go beyond just being rare. Certain ones exhibit unique errors that make them even more prized. For example, there are known double die errors on the Bicentennial Quarter. Double die means the coin was struck twice with misaligned dies, causing the design elements, such as the date, letters, or stars, to appear doubled. These errors are very subtle, but incredibly valuable. For collectors, spotting a double die Bicentennial Quarter can mean adding a rare gem to their collection. Another fascinating error to look out for is the off-center strike. This occurs when the coin isn't perfectly aligned in the press during striking, causing parts of the design to be missing or shifted to one side. Off-center strikes on the Bicentennial Quarter are particularly eye-catching because they create a bold, unusual look that's highly sought after by collectors. The degree of off-centering directly impacts the coin's rarity and value. The more extreme the misalignment, the rarer the coin. There are also coins with missing or doubled mint marks from this era, especially from the San Francisco Mint, which added an S mint mark to its proof coins. Some quarters from 1976 show mint mark anomalies, either missing the mint mark entirely or having it doubled or misplaced. Such mint mark errors are prized collectibles because they provide a glimpse into the intricacies of the minting process and how errors can occur even in the most carefully controlled environments. Besides these error coins, some of the rarest bicentennial quarters come from limited special issues, such as the silver-clad proofs and the special collector's sets. These silver-clad quarters, struck in 40% silver, were released exclusively for collectors and have a different composition than the usual copper-nickel-clad quarters found in circulation. Pristine examples of these silver quarters, especially with rare errors or in perfect condition, command significant premiums. Now, you might be wondering about the coin's value. While most bicentennial quarters are worth only a few dollars over face value, those rare, error-struck, or pristine proof coins can be worth thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars. Among the most valuable bicentennial quarters are those that combine proof quality, minting errors, and exceptional condition. After authentication and grading by experts, some of these rare coins have been known to sell for as much as $84,000. Yes, you heard that right. $84,000 for a coin that once seemed like an everyday tribute to American freedom. What makes the Washington Bicentennial Quarter so special is its blend of history, artistry, and mystery. Each coin tells a story, from the nation's founding to the high-stakes precision of the minting process. For collectors, finding a rare version is like holding a piece of American history in your hand, a tangible connection to a pivotal moment 2 centuries ago. If you've got a bicentennial quarter in your collection or find one in your change, take a moment to examine it closely. Look for subtle doubling, off-center strikes, missing or doubled mint marks, and the coin's overall condition. You might just have a hidden treasure worth far more than its face value. Top 2, we're diving deep into a truly remarkable and recent piece of American numismatic history, the United States Washington Quarter crossing the Delaware from 2021. This isn't just your everyday quarter. It's a tribute to one of the most legendary moments in American history and a striking symbol of courage and perseverance. But beyond its stunning design and patriotic meaning, some versions of this coin have become incredibly rare and highly sought after by collectors around the world. Stay with me until the end of this video because you won't believe how much this coin could be worth. An astonishing $82,000. That's right, $82,000. So, if you love coins or American history, listen carefully, and let's explore why this coin is making waves in the collecting world. The Crossing the Delaware Quarter was released as part of the America the Beautiful Quarters program, designed to highlight iconic national parks, historic sites, and landmarks. This particular quarter commemorates the famous event on the night of December 25, 1776, when General George Washington led his troops across the icy Delaware River during the Revolutionary War. This daring maneuver led to a pivotal victory against Hessian forces in Trenton, New Jersey, turning the tide of the war. The coin's reverse beautifully captures this dramatic moment, depicting Washington and his soldiers braving the treacherous river in a small boat, with detailed waves and determined expressions. While many people admire this quarter for its artistry and historic value, few realize that some 2021 Crossing the Delaware quarters have gained remarkable collector appeal due to their rarity and minting anomalies. Although these quarters were produced in relatively large numbers for circulation, there are several rare variations and errors that make certain coins stand out dramatically. One of the most fascinating things collectors seek is minting errors. Errors can occur during the production process when something goes wrong with the die, the planchet, or the striking process itself. For the Crossing the Delaware quarter, notable errors include double die obverse and reverse strikes, where parts of the design appear doubled or blurred, creating a ghost-like image that's visually striking and highly desirable to collectors. Spotting this doubling on the lettering, Washington's figure, or the boat's details can turn a common quarter into a rare treasure. Another rare feature to watch for is the off-center strike. These errors happen when the coin is not perfectly aligned in the press, causing the design to be partially missing or shifted. Off-center errors can vary from slight misalignments to extreme cases where only a sliver of the design is visible. For the Crossing the Delaware quarter, such errors reveal dramatic, artistic patterns and elevate the coin's uniqueness and value immensely. There's also the missing or doubled mint mark phenomenon. Most Crossing the Delaware quarters come from the Philadelphia, P, Denver, D, or San Francisco, S, mints. Sometimes, coins are released with mint mark errors. Either the mark is absent when it should be present, or it's doubled or misplaced. These anomalies are highly prized because they demonstrate the complexities of the minting process and make each coin a one-of-a-kind find. What's more, the proof versions of this quarter, struck with polished dies and planchets for collectors, are produced in smaller quantities and feature a mirror-like finish and crisp details. Proof coins with errors or rare varieties from 2021 can command premium prices, especially when graded in pristine, uncirculated condition by professional services. Beyond the errors and mint marks, the overall condition of the coin plays a huge role in its value. Collectors prize coins with sharp details, no wear, and perfect luster. A Crossing the Delaware quarter in mint condition, especially one with rare error features, can be a serious investment. Now, here's the exciting part. Despite being a modern coin, certain rare error or proof versions of the 2021 crossing the Delaware quarter have recently been valued at a staggering $82,000. That's an incredible amount for a coin you might just find in your pocket or change jar. This enormous value comes from the coin's rarity, historical significance, and the thrill collectors get from owning something so unique. If you happen to own a crossing the Delaware quarter, or you come across one, take a close look under good light or magnification. Look carefully for any doubling, off-center strikes, mint mark anomalies, or exceptional proof-like qualities. What looks like a simple quarter might just be a hidden gem waiting to make your collection and your wallet grow. The crossing the Delaware quarter symbolizes more than just currency. It's a tribute to bravery, a piece of American history, and a collector's dream wrapped into a tiny silver disc. Owning one of the rarest versions connects you to that historic moment and the intricate craft of coin minting. Top 3, we're diving into a fascinating piece of American numismatic history that often flies under the radar, but is incredibly special. The United States Washington quarter from 1965. This quarter might seem ordinary at first glance, but if you're a collector or just someone curious about rare coins, stick with me, because this particular coin has a story that could make it one of the most valuable coins in your collection. We're going to explore what makes the 1965 Washington quarter so unique, uncover some rare errors, and reveal why its value can soar as high as $80,000 in words. Intrigued? Let's get started. The 1965 Washington quarter holds a distinct place in American coinage history. It marks the first year the quarter was struck without any silver content. Before 1965, quarters were made from 90% silver, but due to the rising cost of silver, the U.S. Mint transitioned to a clad composition made of copper and nickel. This shift was monumental, not only for coin collectors, but for the entire currency system. The 1965 quarter introduced this new, more economical metal mix, yet kept the familiar design, featuring George Washington on the obverse and an eagle on the reverse. What many people don't realize is that the 1965 quarter has some truly rare and valuable varieties that are highly prized among collectors. While millions of these coins were produced, a handful show striking minting errors or unusual features that make them stand out and command serious money on the collector's market point. One of the key things to look for is the no mint mark variety. While quarters produced in 1965 didn't carry a mint mark, some of these coins have subtle die variations and quality differences between the Philadelphia and Denver mints. Collectors chase these distinctions because they offer clues about the minting process during a pivotal transition period. Another rare gem to watch for is the double die error. Double die errors happen when the coin is struck more than once in slightly different positions, causing doubling of the letters, numbers, or even George Washington's profile. If you spot doubled text in the words "Liberty" or "In God We Trust," or a shadowy double outline around Washington's bust, you may have a double die variety. These coins are highly sought after because such errors are visually striking and extremely rare in the 1965 quarter series. The off-center strike error is another fascinating variant. This happens when the coin isn't perfectly aligned during the minting process, resulting in part of the design being cut off or shifted. Some 1965 quarters show dramatic off-center strikes, where Washington's face might be partially missing or the eagle on the back is skewed. These coins become unique artworks in their own right and can fetch high prices due to their rarity and eye-catching appearance. Now, while the 1965 quarter isn't made of silver, it has some qualities that make its condition extremely important to collectors. Because it was widely circulated and made with copper nickel, many coins show wear and loss of detail. But when you find one in pristine, uncirculated condition, with all the sharp details intact, no scratches, and original luster, it becomes a true collector's dream. Professional grading services often place these coins in high demand, especially if they also exhibit rare error traits. One other interesting fact is that some 1,965 quarters have die cracks or splits, visible as fine raised lines on the coin's surface. These minor errors indicate a stressed or damaged die during the minting process. While not always dramatically affecting value, in pristine coins, die cracks can add uniqueness that collectors appreciate. With all these factors combined, rare minting errors, condition, and historical significance. The 1965 Washington quarter stands out as a fascinating coin that connects us to a pivotal moment in U.S. monetary history. So, what's this coin really worth? If you're lucky enough to own a 1965 Washington quarter in flawless condition, especially one with a notable error like a double die or off-center strike, it could be worth an astounding $80,000 in words. Yes, $80,000. This value reflects its rarity, the story it tells about American coinage evolution, and the intense demand from collectors eager to own a piece of history. If you ever come across a 1965 Washington quarter, I encourage you to take a closer look. Inspect it with a magnifying glass or a loupe and check for any doubling, off-center strikes, die cracks, or unusually sharp details. What looks like a simple quarter could hide a hidden treasure that pays off big time. Top 4, we're diving deep into a fascinating chapter of American coin history, focusing on a coin that might seem ordinary at first glance, but hides extraordinary value beneath its surface: the United States Washington quarter from 1966. If you think this is just another quarter, think again. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just beginning your coin journey, this video is for you. Listen closely, because this coin has some rare secrets and error variations that can make it incredibly valuable. Stick around until the end, where I'll reveal just how much one of these 1,966 quarters could be worth today. And trust me, the number might surprise you. The 1966 Washington quarter stands at a fascinating crossroads in U.S. minting history. Coming right after the big transition in 1965, when quarters switched from 90% silver to a clad composition of copper and nickel, the 1966 quarter was part of the first full year of this new metal formula. This meant a dramatic change in both appearance and composition, affecting the coin's weight, luster, and durability. Unlike its silver predecessors, the 1966 quarter lacks the precious metal value, but gained a new significance as part of this economic shift. Despite its seeming commonality, the 1966 Washington quarter holds a special place for collectors due to several rare variations and minting errors that occurred during its production. These errors and anomalies make some 1966 quarters highly sought after and, in some cases, worth far more than their face value or metal content. One of the most intriguing aspects of the 1966 quarter is the no mint mark variety. At that time, the U.S. Mint did not place mint marks on circulating quarters, but small differences in die polishing, striking, and metal composition have created subtle variations between coins produced at the Philadelphia and Denver mints. Collectors look for these minute differences because they shed light on the minting process and add layers of rarity and intrigue. Now, the real excitement comes from the minting errors. The double die error is one of the most prized among collectors. In these coins, you'll notice doubling in the inscriptions, especially in Liberty or In God We Trust. This happens when the coin is struck twice with a slight misalignment, causing the letters or design elements to appear doubled. These double die errors are rare and visually distinctive, instantly grabbing the attention of coin enthusiasts. Another striking variation to watch out for is the off-center strike error. Sometimes the coin blank isn't perfectly aligned during striking, which means part of the design is cut off or misaligned. These off-center coins display dramatic shifts. Perhaps only part of Washington's profile appears, or the eagle on the reverse is skewed. Off-center strikes are highly collectible, especially when the misalignment is large and the rest of the coin remains in good condition. There are also examples of die cracks and splits found on some 1966 quarters. These appear as raised lines on the coin's surface caused by a crack in the minting die. While not always massively increasing value, these cracks make the coin unique and add an element of historical interest, reflecting the physical stress on the dies during production. The 1966 Washington quarter is also famous among collectors for some clad planchet errors, where the metal layers did not properly fuse, sometimes exposing the core metal or causing unusual surface textures. These are highly prized for their rarity and their bizarre, almost alien appearance. But condition is king when it comes to valuing these coins. Because millions were minted and used in everyday commerce, most 1966 quarters show significant wear, scratches, and loss of detail. Finding one in uncirculated, mint condition, sharp details, original luster, and free from any signs of wear is rare and highly desirable. Add a mint error to that, and you've got a coin that can command a premium price. In fact, the combination of rarity, condition, and mint errors on a 1966 Washington quarter means that this seemingly common coin can skyrocket in value. For a collector who stumbles upon a pristine, error-bearing example, the payoff can be substantial. What's the value of a rare 1966 Washington quarter in today's market? If you own one in flawless condition, especially with a notable minting error like a double die or off-center strike, it could be worth a staggering $78,000 in words. Yes, $78,000. That's a huge leap from its face value, proving that sometimes the most ordinary-looking coins hold extraordinary treasures. Next time you find a 1966 Washington quarter in your change, don't just toss it aside. Grab a magnifying glass. Look carefully for any doubling on the letters or signs of off-center striking, die cracks, or unusual textures on the coin's surface. You might be holding a rare collectible worth a fortune. Top 5. We're venturing into the world of American coinage with a piece that might look ordinary in your pocket, but could hide an extraordinary story and value. The United States Washington quarter from 1967. If you think quarters from this year are just everyday change, think again. Whether you're an avid collector or someone curious about coins, this video will open your eyes to why the 1967 Washington quarter is turning heads and making collectors very excited. Pay close attention because there are some rare and fascinating features on this coin that could make it a gem in your collection. And stick around till the end, where I'll reveal just how much this 1967 quarter could be worth in today's market. And trust me, it's a number you don't want to miss. The 1967 Washington quarter occupies a unique spot in the history of U.S. coins. This was a transitional period when the U.S. Mint was fully embracing the clad coinage system, moving away from silver coins entirely. By 1965, quarters no longer contained silver. Instead, they were made from a copper-nickel clad composition. This change had a huge impact on the coin's appearance, weight, and even its collectability. The 1967 quarter was minted during the height of this new era, and though millions were produced, not all were created equal. Some have characteristics that collectors prize dearly. One of the reasons the 1967 Washington quarter stands out is because of certain rare minting errors and variations that make it more than just your everyday coin. For starters, this coin was minted without a mint mark, a practice that was consistent for quarters from Philadelphia and Denver between 1965 and 1967. That means any difference in appearance usually comes down to subtle die differences and error varieties, making close examination a must for collectors. Among the most coveted features of the 1967 quarter are the double die errors. Imagine the coin being struck twice with a slight misalignment. The letters or design elements appear doubled or shadowed. This error is particularly noticeable on the inscriptions "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," as well as the date. A double die coin from 1967 can be incredibly rare and valuable because such errors were not widespread. If you have one, you're holding a true numismatic treasure. Another fascinating error to watch for is the off-center strike. This occurs when the blank coin planchet isn't properly aligned in the press, resulting in part of the design missing or shifted. Off-center quarters from 1967 can show anything from a slight shift that just clips the design edge to dramatic misalignments that look almost like abstract art. The more off-center and well-preserved the coin is, the more valuable it becomes. Off-center errors are a favorite among collectors because they visually stand out and tell a story of the minting process gone awry. In addition to these errors, die cracks and splits can sometimes be found on 1967 quarters. These appear as raised lines or fissures on the coin's surface caused by cracks in the mint die. While these don't always skyrocket the coin's value, they certainly make it unique and interesting, offering a glimpse into the physical toll on mint equipment during that time. An additional intriguing aspect of the 1967 Washington quarter is its clad composition anomalies. Occasionally, you might come across coins where the outer layers of copper-nickel didn't properly bond with the inner core, revealing strange textures or colors. These planchet errors can make a coin one-of-a-kind and highly sought after by collectors looking for unusual specimens. But let's not forget about the importance of condition. Because the 1967 quarter was widely used in circulation, Most surviving examples show signs of wear and tear, scratches, dulling, and loss of fine details. That's why finding a coin in mint state condition, with sharp details, original luster, and no signs of handling, is a dream come true for collectors. Combine a mint state coin with any of the above-mentioned errors or variations, and you have a truly valuable collectible. The 1967 Washington quarter might not contain silver like earlier coins, but its rarity and the potential for error varieties make it a hidden gem. Collectors actively hunt for these special coins because they represent a fascinating transitional era in U.S. minting history. Combining history with unique minting quirks. So, what's the market value if you find yourself holding a 1967 Washington quarter in pristine condition, especially one with notable mint errors like a double die or off-center strike? It's astonishing but true. Such a coin could be worth $76,000 in words. That's a huge leap from just 25 cents, showing how the world of coin collecting can turn everyday coins into valuable treasures. Next time you stumble upon a 1967 quarter, take a moment to inspect it closely. Grab a magnifier and check for doubling in the lettering, signs of off-center striking, or unusual textures that could indicate a planchet error. If you spot any of these, you might just be looking at a rare collectible worth thousands. Thanks for joining me on this detailed journey through the 1967 Washington quarter's hidden secrets. If you found this video enlightening and want to uncover more fascinating stories and values behind everyday coins, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell. Coins are more than money. They're pieces of history and, sometimes, the key to unexpected wealth. Happy hunting!